Welcome to Daily 5 for Monday, March 27th, 2023. We are going to do something fun this week. Now, I am banking on the fact that Lando, as far as I know, never listens to my fives. I don't think he does. And I'm going to be careful just in case he skims, not to mention anything about that when so that he doesn't see this title or anything weird like that and look at this. So I'm planning to spring this on him live in the show for Friday. So hopefully he doesn't choose this week to actually listen to any of the fives. We're going to do something. I heard about this on the radio. Yes, I still listen to the radio because I'm an old man. And they mentioned something, because right now in the United States, for those who are here, you probably are aware, there's something called March Madness, which is college basketball, and people bet on it, and there's all these brackets, and I don't care at all about basketball. It doesn't matter to me. I'd never bet on it because I just honestly am so disinterested in it. But then I heard about something called March Mammal Madness that is put together by Arizona State University here in the United States, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a competitive bracket of different animals that they use a random number generator, I believe, to determine winners of. But you can basically take this bracket, and the idea is it's an educational tool. It's a way for students to be able to understand, what these mammals are and their habitats and how they kind of deal with each other. I just think it is a much more fun idea for us to take these animals. I only briefly skimmed it. I think actually the first bracket or whatever is done, but I haven't looked at anybody who won or anything like that. I'm going to take this. I basically just very much skimmed it just to see how the layout looked. And it's very similar to a March Madness bracket where you just have all these different pair-offs and then each winner goes against the next winner and so on until there's a final. And I'm not even looking really at what the animals are. I want to do this live on the show. And this is my plan, unless something huge happens between now and Friday, which is always a possibility. But assuming there's nothing that is more pressing to talk about, we are going to do the March Mammal Madness bracket. So I'm telling everybody about it now. If you want to I'll link to it, to the page that has the empty bracket, so that you can choose the animals and see if it lines up with ours. But we're going to choose ours, and I'm going to keep track of it, because I think this is just one of the funnest things I've ever seen. I love the idea of just picking, because I know there's going to be animals. I saw a couple of names. I have no idea what they are. I don't know if they are water-based. I don't know if they're tree-based. I have no idea if they're carnivores, omnivores, herbivores, whatever. I just love the idea that there's going to be animals on here that I'm going to look up. We will research it. I think that's fun, because that's sort of a live-esque thing that we could, obviously we're not live, we're pre-recorded, but I adore the idea that we're going to pull this bracket up, especially because I don't think Lando's going to have any, I'd never heard of this thing before. I doubt Lando has, at least if he has, he's never mentioned it to me. So I'm hoping that between now and Friday, that A, he doesn't listen to this show, and B, that he doesn't somehow discover this on his own. I just have a feeling he won't. This feels like something I would dig up. But I think the idea of us pulling these brackets up and then going through and choosing animals, and honestly, my whole thing is, I'm not even going to necessarily I think we should fill it out on the show, but blind. In other words, that neither of us knows what the other person's filling out, and then kind of solidify the brackets and see how it goes. I just think it's fun, because I like stuff like this. I have no interest in most sports. Honestly, outside of baseball, I don't care. I really don't. So all of the stuff that most people get into around this time of year in the United States I'm completely left out of it. But the idea of this pairing, and I mean, it's obviously done in good fun. They're not simulating bloody destruction of the two animals or anything. But it's just the idea. It's based on, from what I understand, like their habitats, whether they would even be interested in conflict. Some of them apparently just run away, or they get distracted because they're doing something else and they lose by default. From the description I heard of this, it sounds like it is a wonderful little way of educating people on different animals, different habitats, how they exist, how they live. And I just like it top to bottom. This just grabbed my interest immediately, because I thought, okay, this is sort of a neat thing to have all these pair-offs, but it's not sports-based, doesn't have anything to do with that, and that because like I said, it's just utterly boring to me. But finding an animal whose name I've never heard of and looking it up, I do that kind of stuff on this show all the time. We look up stuff that we've never heard of or need definitions for. So this sounds like a riot. I can't wait. So again, it's called March Mammal Madness, but don't worry, I'm going to link to it in the show notes, so you won't have to worry about going to find it. I'm going to link right to the page that has the bracket so that you can just pull the bracket up empty and fill it out. So I'm looking forward to it for Friday. Hopefully you are too. Go look at that bracket. It's awesome. Later.